Here is the rewritten script with the same meaning, structure, and word count. If you currently have a significant sum of money sitting inside a standard checking or savings account, there is something critical you need to hear right now. That money is being silently drained in 3 separate ways simultaneously, and the most harmful of those 3 is something your bank will never once mention to you. The instant your account balance passes a specific threshold, the Internal Revenue Service starts taking notice of you. Your money begins quietly losing its value, and a portion of it becomes completely unprotected. The institution holding your funds has absolutely no motivation to inform you of any of this, because all 3 of those dangers generate profit for them while costing you. So today, I am going to walk you through 3 essential things: the precise amount of money that is simply too large to leave sitting in an ordinary bank account, the 3 silent threats that come with keeping more than that amount, and then the 5 targeted locations where financially savvy retirees actually transfer the remainder of their funds so that every dollar is secure, protected, and finally generating returns instead of collecting dust. Stay through to the very end, because that final section is the part no one ever breaks down without charging you for it, and it is where the genuine value lives. Let me begin with the first threat, the one that catches most people completely off guard, which is that once you accumulate a large sum inside a single account, you are under observation. Federal law mandates that whenever more than $10,000 in physical cash passes through your account within a single day, your bank must submit a formal report to a federal agency, and that report gets entered into a government database attached to your name. But it does not end with cash transactions. The monitoring software your bank operates is tracking your balance and your behavior around the clock, continuously scanning for anything that deviates from your established patterns. A large deposit arriving unexpectedly, a significant withdrawal made suddenly, money flowing in a direction it has never moved before. You do not have to commit any wrongdoing to get flagged by the system. You simply have to behave differently than usual. And the larger the amount of money parked in that account, the greater the level of scrutiny it attracts. The most straightforward way to reduce how closely you are being monitored is to stop concentrating so much wealth in the very place that is doing the monitoring. The second threat is one rooted entirely in mathematics, and it is stripping value from your savings every single month, regardless of whether anyone is observing you or not. It is inflation, and at this moment, it is running at just above 4% annually. That means the price of every product and service you purchase is climbing by roughly 4% each year. Now here is the brutal reality. The typical standard savings account in this country is currently paying depositors less than half of 1% in interest. Read that again slowly. Your money is shedding more than 4% of its real purchasing power annually due to rising prices, and your bank is contributing almost nothing to offset that loss. So if you have $50,000 parked inside a conventional savings account, that balance is quietly bleeding away close to $2,000 in actual spending power every single year, and you did absolutely nothing to cause it. You simply left your money exactly where the bank preferred it to stay. Meanwhile, that same financial institution is taking your deposited funds and lending them to other borrowers at dramatically higher interest rates, then pocketing the entire difference. Your money is performing all of the heavy lifting, while the bank collects every last bit of the reward. The third threat is the one that almost nobody bothers to verify until the damage is already done, and it concerns protection. Every single account at every single bank is covered by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, commonly known as the FDIC, but only up to $250,000 per individual per institution. If you hold more than that figure at one bank and that institution collapses, every dollar exceeding that threshold is completely unprotected, and you stand to lose it entirely. Many people assume bank failures are a relic of their grandparents' era, but in the year 2023, this nation experienced three of the most massive bank collapses in its recorded history, all occurring within just a few weeks of one another. The depositors who remained under the coverage limit were fully reimbursed. The depositors who exceeded the limit were left waiting, worrying, and hoping for the best. You should never allow your life savings to rest on hope, especially when arranging full protection is genuinely straightforward to accomplish. So now we arrive at the question you have been anticipating. How much is actually excessive to leave sitting in a standard bank account? The honest guidance that thoughtful financial planners consistently offer goes like this. Maintain 3 to 6 months worth of your typical living expenses inside your checking and everyday savings account, and not significantly more than that amount. For the majority of retirees, that figure falls somewhere in the range of $15,000 to $25,000. That is your financial cushion, your emergency reserve, the accessible cash you can reach at a moment's notice. Every dollar beyond that number does not belong in an account that is surveilling it, eroding it, and barely keeping it protected. Every dollar above that threshold deserves to be relocated somewhere far more advantageous. And here are the 5 destinations where financially careful individuals actually send it. The first destination is a high-yield savings account at an online bank. These are genuine, fully insured savings accounts operated by well-established institutions that simply function digitally rather than out of a physical branch. And because they carry none of the overhead costs associated with maintaining storefront locations, they redirect those savings directly to you in the form of higher interest. At present, these accounts are offering approximately 4%, and sometimes slightly above that figure. That translates to roughly 10 times what your conventional bank is currently paying you on that exact same money, with that exact same federal insurance coverage protecting every dollar. The funds remain entirely accessible, meaning you can transfer them back to your checking account within a day or two anytime a need arises. Setting one up requires approximately 10 minutes and can be done right from your own kitchen table. The second destination is a treasury bill. A treasury bill is essentially a short-term loan that you extend directly to the United States federal government, and it ranks among the most reliable places anywhere on the planet to store money. You can purchase them in modest amounts directly through an official government website called Treasury Direct, and the shorter-term options are currently yielding somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5% to 4%. Here is the detail that most people are completely unaware of. The earnings generated by a treasury bill are exempt from state income tax, so if you reside in a state that levies taxes on income, a treasury bill can quietly deliver more money to your pocket than even a high-yield savings account offering an identical rate. You can structure them so they reach maturity every several weeks, ensuring you always have funds becoming available on a rolling basis. The third destination is a Series 1 savings bond, which is purpose-built for precisely this kind of economic environment because it is specifically engineered to keep pace with inflation. The interest rate attached to these bonds adjusts in alignment with the prevailing cost of living, so by its very design, your money does not suffer the same erosion of purchasing power that it experiences sitting idle in a conventional account. You purchase them through that same government website with a maximum of $10,000 allowed per individual each calendar year. The one condition to understand is that the funds must remain invested for a minimum of 1 year, which makes this option appropriate for savings you will not require in the immediate term, rather than for your emergency cash reserve. The fourth destination is a brokered certificate of deposit. You may already be familiar with the standard certificates of deposit offered at your neighborhood bank, where you commit your money for a predetermined period in return for a fixed interest rate. A brokered version simply means you acquire it through an investment account, which gives you the ability to compare rates offered by hundreds of different banks nationwide simultaneously and then select the most competitive options available. And here is the particularly powerful element for anyone managing a larger sum in need of protection. Through one single investment account, you can distribute your money across multiple different banks, $25,000 at one institution, $200,000 at another, ensuring that every dollar remains beneath the $250,000 insurance ceiling at each individual bank, with the entire amount fully protected and all of it earning a reliable fixed return. The fifth destination is a money market fund held inside an investment account. This is an entirely different product from the money market account offered at your local bank branch. A money market fund holds extremely short-term, highly secure government-backed debt instruments, and it is currently generating returns in the range of 4 to 5%. The funds are completely liquid, meaning you can transfer the balance back to your checking account within approximately 1 business day. There is no required holding period, and there are absolutely no financial penalties for withdrawing your money at any point you choose. For a retiree managing a meaningful amount of cash, it represents one of the most uncomplicated places to store larger sums while continuing to earn a genuine return on every single dollar. Now allow me to bring all of this together, because the central theme connecting every piece of this conversation is identical. Leaving a large amount of money inside an ordinary bank account does 3 damaging things to you all at once. It places you beneath a watchful eye you never consented to. It permits inflation to silently consume your savings, while the bank compensates you with almost nothing in return. And beyond a certain balance, it leaves your hard-earned money entirely without protection. The remedy for all 3 problems is the very same uncomplicated action. Keep a few months' worth of living expenses inside your everyday account and transfer everything beyond that into accounts held in your own name, accounts that are more secure, completely insured, and actually compensating you properly. You are not introducing risk by taking this step. You are eliminating risk from the equation entirely and receiving appropriate compensation on your money for the first time in years. The Internal Revenue Service is never going to contact you personally and walk you through how to reduce the attention your finances attract. Your bank is certainly never going to reach out and explain how to earn 10 times more on your savings somewhere else, because money leaving their institution is revenue they permanently forfeit. The only individual who possesses the ability to decide to move it is you, and making that move is far less complicated than your bank would prefer you to believe. The majority of these accounts can be opened from the comfort of your own home in less time than it would take you to drive to a branch and find a parking spot. I will include the names of each of these account types along with the steps for setting them up in the description section below. So please do one single thing for me right now. Forward this video to one person in your life whom you care about who is over the age of 60 and still holds the bulk of their savings sitting in a single checking or savings account at one bank. A parent, a brother or sister, a close friend, someone from your place of worship who spent their entire working life building that nest egg and was simply never informed that their own money could simultaneously be safer and earning more than it currently is. That one act of sharing could spare them a tremendous amount of lost interest, shield every dollar they have worked to accumulate, and quietly remove their name from a list they never even realized they were on. That is exactly the purpose of what we do here. I will see you in the next one.